Hello and welcome to the Federal Podcast on Asia Cup 2023. I am Aprameya. India won the Asia Cup title for the eighth time by beating Sri Lanka in a one-sided final in Colombo on Sunday, September 17th. The hosts were bowled out for just 15.2 overs thanks to a sensational spell of bowling by Mohammed Siraj, who took 6 for 21 including 4 wickets in an over. In reply, India won by 10 wickets, reaching the small target in just 6.1 overs. To review this final, we are joined by senior cricket writer R Kaushik from the match venue, Aprameya Stadium. Thanks, Kaushik, for talking to the Federal.
Hi, Apo. Good to be back here.
Kaushik, first up, I would like to ask you have been covering cricket for more than 3 decades. Where do you rate this magical spell of Mohammed Siraj today, what we witnessed?
Yeah, it was just an outstanding spell of controlled fast bowling, seam, swing. There was assistance for him from the conditions. And also, we must not forget that there was plenty of assistance from Sri Lanka's batsmen, as well as Siraj bowled. And he bowled really well because in his very first over, he got past the outside edge of Pratham Nisanka's bat 4 times in his first 6 balls.
Right.
And then, of course, his second over was a magical over, like you said, 4 wickets in an over. It's been done only 4 times in the last 2 decades. And for Siraj to turn up and produce those wicket-taking deliveries. Yes, they were wicket-taking deliveries, but I also felt that Sri Lanka's batsmen showed a distinct sort of lack of application. If you look at some of the shots that the top order played, and that's something that Chris Silverwood, their coach, alluded to a little while back. They will be really disappointed at the kind of shots that they played, chasing balls outside the off stump. You know that the bowlers are getting assistance, so you would expect that they play close to the body. They'll play tight cricket to the first sort of 7, 8, 10 overs until the ball begins to lose its newness, and then you build the innings from there. So from that point of view, it was a little disappointing from Sri Lanka's top order batsman, but take nothing away from Siraj. I thought he produced an absolute beauty to get rid of Shanaka. That's probably the ball of the match. Sort of threatened to come in the air, and then after pitching it straightly, by the time the damage had been done, 12 for 5, became 12 for 6, and it was just uphill from there on for Sri Lanka. To put this spell in perspective, Siraj has had a little bit of a quiet tournament in this Asia Cup, and that is sort of spring to life the way he did it in the final when it mattered the most. Unbelievable. If he had the opportunity, he will just seal this day and carry it with him wherever he goes for the rest of his cricketing career.
And what does this do to his confidence and for India going into a big tournament like the World Cup next month?
Undoubtedly, it will be wonderful for both him and for the country. If you go back in time and look at the last couple of years, Siraj has been India's best power play bowler. A lot of the time, just the Bumrah was out of action because of injury, and Siraj has got this knack of getting wickets up front. He's got this mean scramble seam ball which comes in, but he didn't have to use it today. He's been India's top fast bowler in the one-day format for the last 2 years, and this is just a culmination of all the hard work that he's put in. You have days like this when everything that you touch turns to gold, and this is one such day for Siraj. He will obviously be flying high, because sometimes when you bowl really well and you don't get the kind of result that you think you deserve, then it can be a little upsetting. But when you have days like this, when everything falls in place and you pick up 6 wickets in next to no time, it can only be wonderful for him. As for India, yes, trophy in the bag after a really long time. It's almost been 5 years since India last won any kind of trophy in a tournament involving more than 2 teams. So from that point of view, it's great for their morale, for their confidence. They will also know that they probably had it a little easy. Nobody would have expected this match to last only 3 hours, not even 3 hours actually. If you look at it, the match started 40 minutes late because of the rain, and it got over 2.25 hours after it started. So the entire match only lasted 21.5 hours, which is really disappointing. I remember one of the guys in the press box saying that this is supposed to be a 50-over contest, but it became a 50-run contest. And it was not even a contest, it was a no contest. So it's just one of those things. I mean, you look at 50 all out and it looks really shambolic, but then you go back and a couple of years, 2.5 years back, and you realize that India were 36 all out in a test match and went on to win the series in Australia. So these things happen, and there's no logical sort of explanation that things go as awry as they did today for Sri Lanka. As for India, yes, they will take this huge confidence with them. A trophy in the bag, which is a big stick always, and the fact that they came here and they got the job done. Okay, today it was a seamless all the way. All the 10 wickets went to the fast bowlers, but Kuldeep Yadav was had a good tournament as well. So a lot of pluses for India. Obviously, the biggest pluses is the trophy in the bag. They beat Sri Lanka twice in the tournament. They beat Pakistan once. So lots of good things that they can carry with them into the World Cup.
And for the chase, we saw Rohit Sharma promoting Ishan Kishan with Shubman Gill. He walked out to bat. Will this be one-off, or do you see things in the future that he might be promoted in some World Cup matches?
I will be very surprised. Obviously, today 51 run target. There was nothing. It is a no-brainer actually. Maybe Rohit wanted to just take a break. I mean, what you get by going and batting when you have only 50 to chase, and also maybe in a way just free up Ishan Kishan. I would like to think of it as a little bit of a bonus, a little bit of a reward for him for the hard work that he's done in the middle order in this tournament. Essentially, Ishan Kishan is an opening batsman, and that's where he's had most of his success. And he worked really hard throughout this tournament to fit into the requirements of the middle order role. So maybe this is just an opportunity for him to go and bat freely the way he likes to bat, and just to enjoy himself, because it was just a formality getting the 51 runs. And I definitely don't see it as a long-term sort of arrangement for the World Cup. Beyond that, who knows? I mean, so it's not a young guy.
Right.
Maybe this is the future that we'll have in maybe 6 months down the line or 1 year down the line. Ishan Kishan and Shubman Gill might become regular openers, but for now, I think this is just a sick one-off.
And looking back at the Asia Cup campaign for India, do you think they have got a settled combination now going into the World Cup? And before that, they'll play Australia at home for 3 ODIs. So what do you think about India's combination?
I think it's very, very good, Apu. If you look at it, you have the option of 6 bowlers, depending on who plays at number 8. So it could be Shardul Thakur. If you think that there's a little bit more assistance, or you need the extra seam backup, and if you want the extra spin backup, then initially they have penciled in Akshar Patel, but right now we don't know what the status of Akshar Patel is, with his quadricep injury, whether he will recover in time for the World Cup. And if that doesn't happen, then you have a reasonably good replacement in Washington Sundar. One of the talking points after the World Cup 15 was announced was the absence of a right-arm finger spinner, an off spinner.
Right.
Now we've got that, and Washington's batting is as good as Akshar Patel. He's as good a fielder as Akshar Patel is, so India won't really miss Akshar Patel in that sense of the word. So therefore you have a proper balance. The only question is what is the do with Shreyas Iyer? Because I mean,
right.
we saw that this was supposed to be his comeback tournament, and he only batted 9 balls, and then got injured again, and he's not played since that game. And only 3 matches against Australia, like you said, and 2 warm-up games before the World Cup. Do they take a chance to come? He went through an extended routine this afternoon before play started. He batted for about half an hour, 40 minutes in the nets, and then he had a long fielding session, and he looked reasonably okay from what we could see from a distance. But how much overall do you give him? How long do you wait for him to get fit? And do you still back him to play in the World Cup without having played any competitive cricket for 7-8 months by the time the World Cup comes around? So I think that is the one area that is a little tricky. Otherwise, I think India got most bases covered. Whether that means that they will go on and win the title, we're not sure. But
right.
Yeah, this is the best combination that they could have hoped for.
And looking back at this Asia Cup, you're there in Sri Lanka covering all the matches. What are your thoughts on India's dominance? There's only one blip. They lost to Bangladesh and they rested key players. So overall, we can say that it's been a good outing for India.
It has been, of course, there is no doubt about it. But at the same time, a certain fallibility against the turning ball that we have seen even in other formats, the longer formats in the past, that is something that they will need to be mindful about. After the loss against Bangladesh, Shubman Gill spoke about how they prepared for similar kind of wickets during the short camp in Alur before they came to Sri Lanka. But that is an area that they will still have to address. I'm not sure that we will get cracks which will turn spinners, at least in the early part of the World Cup. But, they should be prepared for that eventuality. I think that is one area that will concern Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid a little bit. But otherwise, they seem quite ready for the category.
Right. I can hear I think firecrackers going on in the background, Kaushik.
Yes, Apu, yeah. this is the end of the tournament. I think a big shout out to the ground staff is essential. I mean, the kind of work they put in over the last 10 days here in Colombo. You obviously know that 10, 12 days back there was a talk of moving this tournament. Someone got up because of the rain, and fortunately the weather has not been that much of a spoil sport in the last sort of 10 days. We lost only 8 plus 8, 16 overs in the entire Super 4 were lost to the
Right.
And I thought the ground staff did an outstanding job. I mean, you just had to see them in action. It was like totally in motion, the synchronization, the which they came on with the covers. Well, I think also hats off to the Asian Cricket Council for having announced a $50,000 award for the ground staff for the work that they put in during the Asian Cup. I think that's a nice touch, and it's a recognition of the hard work and the commitment that the ground staff put in to ensure that the tournament was a success.
Thanks, Kaushik, for your thoughts throughout the tournament. We'll catch next series.
Thanks, Apu. Yes, we will reconnect soon. Thank you very much.